Hello everybody, thanks for joining me again. Well, I'm in Brixham. Those of you that follow my channel will know I live in the local area. So just coming out this morning for a short walk and looking for inspiration really. So even though it's dull, overcast, a bit stormy, I thought this morning might be a good chance to get something different. You'll know that I quite like the alternative view of Brixham. There's lots of photographers taking photos of the harbour and the lights, and I'm guilty of that as well. But today, just want something different. So I'm down at Churston Cove, or Churston Quay as some of the locals call it, with my Olympus E-M10, just a micro 4/3 camera with 17mm lens on it, and of course the Pocket 2 that I'm filming with. Travelling really light this morning, and hopefully that'll give me some limitations, but also some creativity maybe. Anyway, let's see what we can find, shall we? So, first rookie error of the day, forgot to turn the microphone on and then check the footage to see that I'd done so. Never mind. What I'm trying to say is, on the way down, I was passing some road signs and just took some quick images. And I'm quite pleased with what I got, just on the walk down to the cove. Anyway, so I'm on the beach, and looking behind me you can see the rocks and the seaweed, and there's some really nice colours, almost autumnal colours coming out in the seaweeds this time of year. So what I'm trying to do is take a photo of those, but I've only got a 17mm lens, so it's a bit far away, so I'm going to need to crop it. And also I've got a micro 4/3 camera with only a 16 megapixel sensor, so in these low dim light it's going to be a struggle. So the ISO is going to be high, and well, we'll see how well this little Olympus E-M10 does. So settings wise, what am I doing? As you might be able to see, I'm quite a long way from those colourful rocks over there, so this may not work. But I might also get a portrait shot of the little bit of coastline with the trees beyond. There's a nice tree just up on the top right, which might work. Settings wise, I'm keeping the aperture quite open. I'm at f6.3, which I think will give us a good depth of field and everything in focus. I'm at 1/100th of a second because it's handheld, and I'm letting the ISO do its own thing on auto, so it's going to be high. At the moment it's looking about 5,000. And as expected, if you look really closely on this photo, it's a little bit grainy, not very sharp. I have used noise reduction in post-processing to improve it, but I do like the colours. But I always knew the camera was going to struggle in these conditions, and even if I'd have used my APS-C camera, I think it would have been a challenge. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I've put a circular polarizer on there, and that's just helping cut down some of the reflection and bring out some of the colours. So let's also drop the shutter speed slightly to 60th of a second. Hopefully I can still shoot handheld with that. Let's give it a go. So yeah, dropping the shutter speed did help, and also this is a little bit better composition. Just move back a little bit and use the seaweed leaning across the beach as a leading line. Colours are a little bit different in this one, whether it was the polarization or just the white balance, because I left that on auto. But still a good photo. Hopefully some of those photographs weren't too bad. I'm going to move just along the beach and maybe up the steps the other side and see what I can find. So it's still very dark and starting to rain now, so I'm really giving this camera a bit of a challenge. But what I have noticed filming with it over the last few months is the colours. Really impressed with the colours it comes up with straight out of camera, and I'm hoping it'll do something with this scene down here. I'm going to try some panoramas of the little bay here and the steps down here. So what I've done with this shot is I've put the camera in portrait mode and then taken 6 shots to create this panorama. Fills the image with megapixels and you get some really good details, and even in this low light the image quality is really quite good. And even this shot looking down the newly refurbished steps down to the cove, this is still a panorama made up of 4 or 5 images. Gives lots of details, and the steps really complement the colours in the bay. Autumn is definitely on its way. And lastly, just on the way back down to the cove, just looking through the undergrowth here, just thought the leading line of the steps down to the beach and on beyond to Fishcombe Cove and Battery Gardens looked really nice. Most of these images are mostly snapshots of my trip out, but still fun to take. So, getting a bit more serious about the photography by the time I got down to the cove again, I thought let's have a look at the smaller things. Always a good thing to do on a dull day. And the seaweed on the tide's edge here was really interesting. This first image, I just was trying to almost make like a tree-like composition here. Not sure if it works, but I do like the colours of the seaweed. Those gold rusty colours are really nice, and you can see some detail and nice colours in the pebbles surrounding it, and quite nice as a little square cropped image. This one I like a little bit better, just searching along the seaweed looking for different compositions. Again, you've got those lovely gold colours, and I've tried to pick out these sort of fan shapes of the seaweed coming down the image, and the darker areas around really just frame it nicely. Just stopped in Battery Gardens just above the cove. I stopped out of the rain under this shelter just a couple of weeks ago and got some really nice images of the shapes, and especially looking up inside the roof. Anyway, I've been trying some panoramas with this Olympus, so what I thought I'd do today is try and make a panorama of this small shelter. Reason being is that we'll see how good the stitching tools are with all these straight lines and angles. Let's see what it looks like, shall we? Well, remember, I didn't have a tripod with me. I was just hand holding this shot, and again, this is 5 or 6 images stitched together, and it's done quite a good job of the actual structure, the shelter in the middle. But if you look to the left and right, certainly on the left, the coastline and the horizon is just all misshapen, and on the right hand side you can see the breakwater is a little bit broken, but not a bad job. And as I said the previous week, I was sheltering from the rain, and this was taken with my Sony A6600, but the shapes were really nice, and being forced to stand there for a while made me think a bit more about the composition. So as you can see, the bench leading into the shot, the posts on the right hand side, and that lovely canopy above. And looking up, just trying to make something of the textures of the planks and the structure. I like this herringbone pattern, and with the lines in the roof going the opposite way, almost makes a fan shape. Lots of nice detail in this. Not to everybody's taste, I'm sure, but good fun to take. Well, I thought I'd stop here at this cafe down in Fishcombe Cove. Really nice spot for a cup of tea. I think they're licensed as well. And Fishcombe Cove is a lovely spot to swim all year round. So, what can I say about this camera? Well, I'm really impressed over the last few months. You know, lots of people on YouTube will tell you that a Micro Four Thirds camera, small sensor, not good in low light. You could always do with a full frame camera and spend a lot more money, couldn't you? Well, to be honest, I've taken some of my best photographs so far with this. Photographs that I probably wouldn't have even thought of taking with the other camera. And what's really impressed me the most is probably the colours coming straight out of camera, and I'm shooting in RAW. I'm sure if I shot in JPEG it would be exactly the same. What don't I like? Well, my other camera is a Sony A6600 APS crop sensor, but much larger than this. This feels a little bit small in the hand compared to that, but you know, if I'd bought this first, maybe I'd be thinking the other way around. Really like the 17mm lens I bought with it. Just a nice prime lens. It's fast as well, goes down to f1.8. Gives me some nice images and makes me think about the composition a lot more. And by doing so, it's given me one of my favourite images so far this year. This photo of the tenders in Brixham Harbour I would have never taken without this camera. And when it comes to cost, this from MPB cost me £500, body and lens. So a much cheaper option than APS, and certainly than full frame. So I can quite recommend this, especially if you're a beginner. This will give you more than enough. The other thing to say about this camera is the retro styling. It just looks the business, doesn't it? All these dials and buttons. Very nice. And small enough just to take with you everywhere. Also, while I'm sat here, I'd like to say thank you to Paul, better known as Westcountry Wanderings. If you don't know his channel, go and look him up. He travels the footpaths, railways, canals. In fact, the clue's in the name, Westcountry Wanderings. His channel gives me inspiration on places to go, and helps me get out when I'm not feeling inspired. So thank you, Paul. As you can see, I was lucky enough to meet Paul a few weeks ago as he was filming in Churston. I'd highly recommend checking out his website. He was in Brixham to film a video on the old branch line from Brixham to Churston. Now disused, he was trying to follow the line, and really enjoyed some history. So I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check out his channel. And also thank you to all the new subscribers I've had over the last few weeks. Hope you enjoy the videos, and if you want to comment below on any content you'd like to see, or whether you'd like me to do more stuff on cameras or more about Brixham or Dartmoor, then let me know. Well, that little cafe really adds a bit of colour to the dull morning. But anyway, I think I'm going to end the video there. It's been a little bit different, trying to capture images in this dull weather, but still worth trying. So get out there and have a go. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. And hopefully I'll see you all again next week. But for now, cheerio.